Okay, so now let's try this again. So I have my questions on. I'm waiting now to see Miss Lynn. Hi guys. I miss you guys. Yeah, I miss you guys so much. I know y'all think I don't love y'all. I know y'all think that I'm not working. When I tell you I have so much stuff going on, and music is definitely on my agenda. Like when y'all see, like if y'all knew what I was sitting on and just didn't put it out yet, y'all would probably really come to my house and beat me up. But I promise you, I promise you it's gonna be worth the wait. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm learning so much about everything. I'm learning so much about how to just how rich people really be getting rich. Like when you once you figure it out and you see, you be like, wow, so this is how the richer get richer and the poorer get poorer. Now you see. I done seen so many people, and I know y'all see it too. With this pandemic going on, everybody, where's my mask? My mask is right here. I got a whole bucket of them, but here go my N95 right here, but I'm in my car. But anyway, there's so many people that's been scheming, scamming, getting all type of unemployment, this, that, grants, and you would think they would use it in a way so that when all this is over, you got something to show for it. Nope. You know what they doing? Buying out all the designer stores. Yo, I drove past Fifth Avenue. As I drive past it to get home or whatever, you drive past Fifth Avenue, Balenciaga got lines down the block. Nothing but people that look like us. Saks Fifth Avenue look like it looked like H&M or Marshalls or something. The way they've been running through there, like it's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy. Did I miss Lynn? Sitting here chatting. I mean, like, but like, I just be saying, looking at people. Everybody's so lit. Everybody fresh. I'm like, ain't nobody saving. Ain't nobody buying no property. Ain't nobody buying no houses. Ain't nobody nothing. It's just, gosh, our people, our people really need help. I was talking to my husband the other day, and I was like, babe, like, how would you feel about like living with like our whole family? And he was like, what? I'm like, not in our house, but like if we used to like buy some land that we can build on, and like literally each person in our family could build their house on our land. Like I grew up in the projects where the mother lived in one building, the daughter moves out and she moves into an apartment in another building. Then she have a kid by a guy that lives in another building. So now the grandmother's in it. Like it'd be like 4, 5 different families. The whole family be related, but they all be living in the projects, paying rent. Like why not get some land, invest in some property, like and build houses, like even just like doing stuff in my house when I be sitting there and I be trying to get my floors done or get tile or whatever. None of the people that own these companies and that's getting all this money look like me. Like we don't have no crafts or nothing. Somebody says Lynn Richardson. Hold on, let me see. Somebody said they seen Lynn. Let me go look. I'm going. Sorry. I think we're almost there. But yeah, none of these people be looking like me. And I'm like, how do we go from building this whole country with our blood, sweat, tears on our backs to not even having no trade, nothing? Like, what? It's just, I don't know. I've been thinking so different lately, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to get Lynn Richardson on here and have her, answer some questions, and me and her just have a back and forth on how to build your wealth and to, solidify the future for yourself, your children, your children's children, and just we just need a different mind state. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Why is it not letting me do this? Send the request. It's just really sad. And it's to the point now where
I'm here, my sister.
woo!
Let me tell you, at no point did I ever get frustrated or nothing. And that's what we have to learn how to do, because the whole fact that black people are not wealthy. Let me explain this. Black
Mhm.
people have been president of the United States of America. Black people have led the free world. Black people have been on the moon. Black people created math. Black people have PhDs. Black people created hip hop. Black people spend money, but black people are not wealthy. So it was nothing but, in my opinion, it's always going to be something trying to come between black
Mhm.
people and getting wealth. And
You
so
seen
people
it?
think
You
you can
seen
keep going.
Instagram trying to come between us? You
Exactly.
seen Instagram trying it?
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
I was telling the people, and I was trying to explain to how I see so many people. Like I just bought a new house, and I've been getting my floors done, and I've been getting things painted, and I'm trying to redo bathrooms and kitchens, and all of these people that I'm calling and that I'm trying to hire, none of them look like me and you. And I'm
Right.
like, and these are family owned businesses. When they come, it's like, oh, my brother's gonna come over. Oh, hold on, my son's gonna be the one doing, like, these are family owned businesses, and I'm just trying to understand, how do we go from building this country? Literally, we built this country with
Mm-hmm.
our blood, sweat, tears, lost our lives, our culture, our families, everything, to the point where we own nothing. We don't have any trades. Like, and when we do, we're not the majority. Of course, I'm not saying there's no black owned flooring companies, no black owned companies that do kitchens and baths and stuff like that. But it's not prominent. It's not dominant. And
Right.
I'm just like, I know how you are. I know how you pass the torch from you to your kids and what they got to do, and they know how they got to earn. But like, I want you to speak on, like, not just wealth for us, but generational wealth. How do you pass it down to your kids so that your kids have that and their kids have it, so that we can start a cycle the same way a lot of other people have started a cycle?
Well, I think the number one thing for our people to understand is that the truth is most people who are wealthy learned how to be wealthy. In the same way most people learned how to be wealthy, we can learn how to be wealthy too. And I know, I grew up in the projects. I was born and raised in Chicago on the south and the west side, the southwest side. And my grandmother, taught me everything about life. She taught me to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, go to church on Sunday, wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a bus. All of the stuff that grandmothers, you know what I'm talking about.
Yo,
That
that's
grandma,
crazy. My
baby. Where
grandmother
I'm
said the
like, why I
same
got to get
thing.
hit by a bus? Why do I got to get hit by a
But
bus?
if I got
When
hit by a bus, why y'all looking at my underwear? Fix
right,
me.
exactly. I was like, will I even have on any underwear? But that's how she taught me. And so I knew we weren't rich, but I didn't feel poor. If I needed money for something like a field trip or, go to the skating party or whatever it was that was happening in the neighborhood, she'll tell me to look in the room on top of the shelf, behind the box, inside my pocketbook, inside zipper, wrapped up in a piece of paper
Mm.
towel is $20. So when I got off to college, now this is what I need people to understand. Not only did I go to college, I went to the number 9 university in the country, number 20
Okay.
in the world, Northwestern. And my degree was in economics, finance, and math. But when I got to college, I got too many credit cards. I couldn't pay anybody. When the creditors would call and say, Lynn, can you borrow the money? I say, can I borrow it from you? Fast forward, I graduate. I'm thinking, okay, I'm young, black, educated, all of the stuff that we're told that we can be if you go to college.
Right.
And I started making money, and I was living check to check. No, I was living check to Monday. You see, check to check is a blessing. That means you get paid on Friday. By the next payday, you broke. But check to Monday is a whole nother game. You get paid on Friday, you kick it
By
on the
Monday.
weekend, you pay on your past due bills. And
Right.
by Monday, you broke. And Remy, I was living that lifestyle. I was making 20,000, 50,000, 80,000 a month. Not a year. I said a month. And so it did not matter
Wow.
how much money I made. I always found a way to be broke. And what I realized is more money doesn't solve a money problem. And we specifically as black people, and I'm going to say in America, we come from a history of not having. And
Mhm.
so when we get the opportunity, when we get a little money, there's a couple things we do. One, we got to show the world we have it. And we show the world we have it with jewelry, cars, furniture, and clothing. And advertisers, that's why this is so important that you're doing this on Black Friday. Advertisers spend their whole budget for the year advertising to us because black
Mhm.
people are the creators of cool. Do you
And we the
understand? Like,
biggest consumers.
yep, we are the biggest consumers. And so what I started to realize is I couldn't, I, so the first thing is we come from a history of not having. The second thing is if we're the ones in our families who make it, then we feel guilty. Our family members want stuff from us. So I would loan money to family members even when I didn't have it. So they wouldn't think I was broke, which I was. So it's all a lie. So when I started changing everything, I just started telling the truth. And I tell people that there is no shame in having a money problem. And so we grow
Hmm.
up, we'll talk about sex, we talk about everything else, but we do
But
not talk
never,
about money.
never financial literacy. Never, never
Never,
that.
never. So, when I hit rock bottom, so the last recession, 2008, my 401k dropped. I had quit my corporate job to come in the entertainment business. But when the stock market crashed, our program did get funded. And so I kept working anyway. But guess what? I was on food stamps. I had a husband, 3 children, big house in foreclosure. My house is upside down. So I learned how to get my money right when I had zero. When I had nothing, that's when I got disciplined. When I had nothing, that's when my eyes got open. When I had money, I have a reason to fix it. So I think that what we have to do, me starting out in college as an adult, whatever, all of that, my credit was jacked up. I didn't know anything about saving. I bought clothes, but now my 3 daughters, my youngest is 19. They got
Hmm.
700 credit scores. They got money in the bank. They own stock. And guess what? We have to teach each other. We got to teach each
Speaking
other.
speaking of credit scores, like I think what's the highest you can have? 850, I think it is.
Yep, it's 850.
Is that even real? Like, how do you get that? Like, how? Like, I be sitting there looking at my credit score right now is probably like, I think like a 704 or something like that. It's not
That's
crazy,
excellent.
but
That's good.
that's excellent. Really,
Yeah,
it
that's
seems
excellent
far
credit.
from a. But the thing is, when I was trying to do something, they was telling me I don't really have credit like that because my thing is, I don't like bills. Like, if I was to like say, if I was to lease an apartment, I would be like, how long is my lease? 2 years? All right, how much is it going to be for 2 years? Pay the whole thing up front. Here, let's get it out of here. Okay, how much is my phone bill each month? I figure it out and I would pay at least that much so that is for the whole year. If I buy a car, I'm buying the car. I don't want to lease the car because I always felt like if something happened, it's mine's. If I,
Right.
I got this car that's $100,000, $200,000, and I'm leasing it, something happened, I don't even got no means of transportation because I'm not gonna be able to pay this note. At least if
Right.
it's mine, I could be like, all right, my car's worth 200,000. I could sell my car, get a little bit of money, get a downside to a different car, and still own it. So like that's my mentality. Like I always want to own everything. I feel like leasing, renting, all of those things is traps to keep you still paying, paying, paying. And if anything, I don't know what, like maybe you get incarcerated for 8 years and can't be around. If
Yep.
something happens,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to figure out how you're gonna maintain these things, or you're gonna let them go, and all the money you invested into them is just gone. So when I look at whatever it was I was trying to do, they was like, you don't have um any credit like that. Like I have 2 credit cards that I use, and that's it. I don't have a car note. I don't owe anything, and that was a problem for them. She was like, so I was like, how do I increase it? And she was like, I would suggest getting about 2 or 3 more credit cards. Have at least 4 credit cards. Keep the balances low. Like try to use them only 10 to 15%, and that'll help increase your credit score. So I'm like, you're judging me because I pay my bills like ahead of time, as opposed
Yep.
to showing that, like, I told her that I showed up my whole, she was like, well, how about this? Are you have anywhere where you rent? I said, yeah, I have somewhere where I'm rented. At the time, my rent was probably like almost 11,000 a month, and I showed her the things, and she's like, well, this doesn't prove anything because you paid it all up front. So
Yep.
I was penalized
Yep.
because I showed that I could pay my bills ahead of time as opposed to on time.
Yep.
So, like, these are all the things that you don't realize until you're actually in the situation. So, what I'm asking you now, with all of that being said, how does someone realistically sit down and be like, okay, I want an 850 credit score? How do you do that?
So the first thing is this. It can't the credit score can't increase unless you actually work the credit every single month. So if you pay
So
all
you
your
have to have
bills on
activity.
time, right, which is what a lot of people recommend. I mean, I recommend being debt free as much as you can. But the truth is, for most people, we have to take it one step at a time. So most people don't have the money to, just buy a car. Most people don't have the money to, get their house. So what you do is, let me give you one example. So I've been through foreclosure, bankruptcy. I've been on food stamps. Everything that could happen has happened to me. So when I speak to people about money, I'm talking to us. It's not with us. It's not to anybody. It's with it, because I've been there, done that. So after the bankruptcy, my husband and I, we had to rebuild our credit. So this is what we did. So my two youngest daughters needed a car because they went back to school. They're living in an apartment. They're quarantined, but I didn't want them back and forth in Ubers and stuff like that.
Right.
So instead of going to pay cash for the car, which I can, what we did is we got finance because our credit score is in the 700. We got finance. I took the whole dollar amount that I was going to pay for the car anyway. I put it
Mhm.
in a separate account. I put it in an investment account. So we got the car loan. I got the money sitting to the side, but paying that car loan every month, I said, you know what? Maybe we'll pay it for like 12 months. We'll pay it for like 18 months and watch the credit score go up, because it's a car loan from Chase. So Chase
Mhm.
is a major bank. So when the credit bureaus see that you have credit lines from major companies, then your score is going to increase and increase and increase and increase. So what have I done? I put the money to the side because, I can, God has blessed me to be able to do that. But at the same time, I still take the money from that account and pay that card note every single month. That is using the activity to build that
Mhm.
credit muscle. Now, once you build your credit muscle, once you get to, if your goal is to get to 800, once you get there, really it's nothing that can take your credit score down unless you make a late payment. So at that point, it's just about maintaining where you are. But to get
Mhm.
there, you literally have to exercise your credit muscle. So I tell people this: let's say you can't get a credit card right now. Let's say you apply for a credit card, you can't get one. There
Right.
are banks that'll give you a secured credit card. You'll put some money in a bank account, like $250, $500, $10,000, whatever you have, and then they
And
will
they
give you a
hold it
credit card.
for
Yeah,
that
they'll
amount.
hold it there. They'll hold it for that amount.
I
The
I
other thing,
did that.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
did that when I first came home from prison. I didn't have any credit because I had been gone for so long. I'd been gone almost 7 years, and I didn't have any credit history. And what I did was I took a lump sum of money, I put it in the bank, and then they like held it, and then they gave me, what was my, I think my first limit was like 10,000. It was either 10,000, it was like an odd number, 10,000 or 11,000, something weird like that, even
mm-hmm.
though I had gave them way more than that to hold, and they
Right,
held it there. And for that first year, I would use my card, I would pay it off each month, use my card, paid off each month, and then after a
exactly.
year they increased my credit limit
Mm-hmm.
dramatically. They kept increasing it, and they gave me my money back that they were holding.
Exactly.
So that
Exactly.
helped me get my first card. But I want to say this because I don't want to get off the subject before I forget. So back
Mm-hmm.
to when I was telling you, I was asking how do I increase my score and things like that. I was trying to get a loan, and I was denied because of my felony record. That was one of the reasons why they denied me. And I was upset because I'm like, first of all, how, it wasn't like I could see if I had a crime based on money or money laundering or credit card scams or something like
Right.
that, and that's why they would like, the fact that you just had a felony period, they was
Right.
denying it. So I'm like, so anybody that's like me, that's from where I'm from, that's probably trying to get a house or get anything, they can be denied because they have a felony. Like, so this is like another way that they redline us and keep us living where we have to live or
Yep.
renting or doing whatever, because they denied us because of that. And I was talking to my husband because I was pissed off, and I was like, there has to be some type of, mommy, there has to be some type of law or something implemented that changes that. They even did it in the judicial system. People were going to the parole board and they were being denied parole based on their instant offense. And
Mm-hmm.
what was argued was, you're denying me my ability to have freedom based on my instant offense. My instant offense is never going to change. That's something that I
Right.
can't change. You tell
Right.
me it's my behavior. You tell me I need to learn a trade. You tell me whatever. I can change that. I can never change my instant offense. So I'm like, unless, I'm cool with like Trump, who just pardons all his friends, you know,
Right.
I'm always going to have a felony on my record. So as long as I have a felony on my record, I'm never going to be able to get a loan. Like, you can use that as a reason to deny me. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that. Like, once I found that out, it's friends that I have that were incarcerated before that have a felony now. I know they're saving up to buy a house. And I'm like, listen, you might want to have a, option too, because they can deny you based on the fact that you have a felony record.
Right. So what I always say is we got to learn the rules of the game and play the game by the rules. So we got to figure out, okay, which program is going to allow me to get approved. A lot of people don't know about the FHA 203K loan. The FHA
Right.
203K doesn't discriminate, and they also will give you money to rehab your house and have no mortgage payment for 6 months. The conventional programs, unfortunately, sometimes they don't just do a credit check, they do some other kind of check. And
A
I know that this
background
happened
check.
because they do a background check, because my husband, who has excellent credit, like it's in the high 700s, applied for something, and there is no bankruptcy anywhere. The bankruptcy was old, it's gone. And they said, well, there was a bankruptcy in your background. So they actually will go back into your background. But what we have to do, one, we have to become business owners as Black people. And what we have to realize, we are business owners with the little things that we do. We are business owners as DJs. We are business owners as makeup artists. We are business owners as hip hop artists. We are business owners as Uber drivers, babysitters, and all of this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Because when you build your business credit, now your
Mhm.
business credit, it follows different rules. So you can
Right.
buy real estate with your business credit. Whereas there are times you can get credit, you can get things with your business credit and can't get it with your personal credit. So we have to start to, and this is so good, we have to start to educate our people about all the different things. Because when I look at how wealthy people handle their money, first of
Mhm.
all, they put everything on the table. They have family meetings about finances. Um,
Mhm.
my youngest daughter is 19. My oldest daughter is 24. I called my two youngest daughters about 2 months ago. I was like, check your email because I'm starting your retirement account. They were like, retirement. My mom, she was like, I'm only 19. I was like, but if you put $100, this was just $100. If you
Mhm.
put $100 in a mutual fund for the next 30 years, you have $652,000. That's just 100. She was
Right.
like, what? She said, well, what if I put in 250? It was like 1.2 million. She said, what if I put 500,000? I said, it'll be like 3 point something million. Now she's 19. That
Mhm.
means at the age of 40 some years old, where I am right now, if she does the things, because I wasn't taught that, she does those things now. So those are the kind of things that we have to do. And then we just have to work around it.
And
We have to work
also,
around
you're
it.
setting her up for success. A lot of us. I seen somebody in the comments. I just want to address a couple of things. Somebody asked me, "What is the
Mm-hmm.
instant offense?" The instant offense is your crime that you were accused of that got you incarcerated.
Right.
It's like if you go to prison for robbery, that's your instant offense. You can't change it to now I'm in prison for something else. No, that's going to be the same thing. So when I was saying you can't change your instant offense, you can't change what your crime was or what you're in prison for. You can change your behavior, you can change how you move, you can change, but you can't change that. So that's that. Then I seen someone else ask a question, and they said, how do you build your score up? And I don't know if y'all missed it, but pretty much she said she pays all her bills. She has a couple of mortgages, and she pays her bills on time every year. I mean, every month. The problem might be that you're spending too much, because you can have a credit line. You have a credit card that has $100,000. If you spend 90,000 every month and pay it off
That's
every
right.
month, that's going to be a problem. They want you to have a credit line of $100,000 and spend no more than 10,000 each month.
Exactly. Yep.
They want you to
Be-
keep it low because they feel like you're maxing it out. You don't really have it like that. That's how the credit looks at it. So when we look at it, you be like, all right, I have a credit card that got 5,000, 10,000 limit. You spend 9,900. You pay it off, but it hurts you because you'll be better off either breaking it up in between other credit cards so that that one
Right.
credit card doesn't take it, or and my thing, like I guess use certain things on debit and then some of it on your credit card. I don't
Right.
know how to even
So
explain.
it so it's two things. So one, if you charge your credit card up to the max and you're going to do that every month and pay it off every month, you have to pay it off before the due date. And you have to pay it off before the bill cycle ends. So
Before the credit people pick it
before,
up.
yeah, before it shows on your credit report. So let's say I have a credit card for $5,000. I could charge up to $4,999. And if that bill is due December 1st, if I wait till December 1st, which is the due date to pay it, that's the amount that's going to show on my credit report. But if I pay it November 30th, if I pay it November 29th, then on the bill cycle date, it's going to show a zero
It's just gonna
balance.
sell zero.
Yeah. So that's one thing. So you have to use the credit in order to get the lender to increase your credit line so that you have high credit lines and low balances. The next thing is, if you have some discipline, get an American Express. Because if you want to charge and you just want to have a card that you charge, that you use points on, getting an American Express will give you the ability to do that, but you got to pay that American Express off every single month. Every single month. So it
But
doesn't show
I
on your
love
credit
my
report.
American Express because I didn't even know that I had points
Oh my
until
God.
one day.
Yes.
Listen, to one day, I've been using my American Express for forever. One day, I'm on my Amazon account and I decided to put my American Express in it, and I had about, I don't know how, I don't even remember the number, right, but it's a few $1,000s that I had in points.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, for like a good couple of months, I was just ordering stuff on Amazon. In my mind, like, it's free. It's free. It's not free. It's they're giving me money back. But I felt
Right.
like it was free. But I think I also saw somebody that was on his like, oh, this black conversation is tired. And there lies the problem. Like, I will never get tired of telling my people on how to better themselves. I will never be tired of trying to share information on what works for me and what may help my people, help their children, because that's how everybody else wins. Like,
Right.
you go, people be having their own whole communities. I've never been every state, every place I've ever been. There's a Chinatown. There's a area where everybody who like Little Italy, and there's a place where all the people, Indian people, like
Mm-hmm.
they all
Mm-hmm.
have their areas. We the only ones. We have our own areas, but it's called the hood. It's called the ghetto,
Yeah.
and it's ran
And we're
down.
not building wealth. And we're not
And we
building
don't.
wealth. Yeah.
So
And
it bothers me when people. How could you listen to what we're talking about right now and be annoyed and be like, oh, this black conversation is tired. Like that's the problem. It
it's
bothers me, and I'm mad that I can't find her no more. Because now I want her to hear what I say, and then I wanted to block her, but I can't find her no more.
yeah. But you know what? The truth is, people start getting offended about building wealth, just like there were people offended. I saw, several celebrities like, "Why you mad?" People were mad because people voted. So it's this thing where, as Black people, sometimes we know we got to do something to get out, but we don't really want to hear what it takes to get out because we don't want to hear the truth. And I was that person. I didn't want to hear the truth. I didn't want nobody
Mhm.
telling me how to spend my money. I felt like I made my money. I should spend it how I want to. And guess what? I did. But my results kept being poor. I was always broke. I would have a whole lot of money, then I have no money. Then I go out and make some more money, then I wouldn't have any money. I'm like, no, I want to end this cycle. I want to always have
Mhm.
money stacked in the bank. I want to always, so I have to start following the rules. And the truth is, we have to start to educate ourselves. We have to get a financial education. That's why at buildwealthwithremy.com, you can take how to invest in the stock market. You could take how to start a home-based business. Everybody need a home-based business.
Mhm.
Everybody needs a home-based business. And I had been
Because
saying
then you
that.
could write your home off as an office, save money
Yes.
on that because this is my home. But why do you think so many people, so many doctors, so many lawyers, so many this, they have it their office and they think is tied into their house because
Right.
it's super tax write-offs. You get to save so much money, and these are the things that I think. Like when people be mad at me, they be like, "Oh, where's the music? Where's this?" And I'm like, "I love music. Music is my passion. It's my heart. It allowed me to get from off of ground zero. It was music
Right.
is the most amazing stepping stone that I've ever seen for our people. But that, and of course, in the sports arena, whatever sports
Right.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with music, I have to gamble so much. I
Yeah.
have to base it on, and it's so much on politics. All the other things that I've been doing with myself and my husband, and really making great money, and
Yeah.
it's not a gamble. It's not like, well, if the song does
Exactly.
good or if this happens, it's something that this is what it's gonna be. And it comes a point where in life you have to be like exactly what you said. I feel like a lot of times our people, they if, especially now, I tell people all the time, if it ain't on Instagram, it ain't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they don't see you on a jet, it didn't happen. If they don't see you buy
Mm-hmm.
a new car, it didn't happen. If they don't see your new purse, your new bag. Like I don't. That's not what I do. I don't want
Right.
to. I don't want to show anybody anything. Like I literally just cringed. I went to my husband's page. I was like, "You posted that? Oh my god! Now people gonna know we bought it." I was like, I don't be wanting people to know nothing
Right.
that I'm doing. I'm okay with sharing information and helping people do what they do, but I feel like when people think they know what you're doing, there's always somebody that's gonna try to stop something. Very rarely do you have people that's gonna just come and be like, you know what, girl, let me tell you how you could get more of that. Let me tell you how you could.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't happen. And we at a point now where I tell people all the time, like it's crunch time. Because
Yep.
in case I haven't noticed, people doing real bad right now. There's some people that's doing okay, but people are doing really bad. Crime is up dramatically
Yep.
everywhere, and it's because people are struggling. I've never met anybody that got a Rolls Royce in a parking lot, that live, I mean, in their garage or wherever, they and live in a nice house, and they go out and bust somebody in their head and snatch their purse. It just
Right.
doesn't happen. I don't
Right.
know anybody that's out standing on the food line and their cabinets is stocked and they're not worrying about a meal and not missing no meal.
Right.
It just, it's not going to happen, because you're
Right.
going to have a different mind state. People that are doing it, people, but most crimes are committed because people are struggling.
Yep. That's it. That's
The
it. And
majority of crimes,
what
like,
people
you know,
got to
you got somewhere.
realize, what people got to realize is this: coming out of this pandemic, you're gonna either be a millionaire, a billionaire, or a witness. During times like this, other cultures, they get richer, they get more wealthy, they find other ways. There are people who thrive when other people are down. Now, I'm not saying we should go and try to thrive when other people are down, but we should try to create businesses and opportunities so we can expand our wealth and then help other
Hmm.
people expand their wealth at the same time. So in the last, every time there's anything, the last recession, Hurricane Katrina, 9/11, the
Hmm.
government has been giving out money to businesses, but Black people didn't know. So
Right.
Diddy and I started the ourfairshare.com to educate all of these business owners. Guess who business owners? Like I said, DJs, makeup artists, hairstylists, barbers, like
You're a
all of the
business.
people that make our community run, and the things that we do. These are legitimate businesses. But because we
Hmm.
did not know in the past, we didn't get access. So we're depressed, we're in a recession, and so on and so forth. So what you're doing right now, people got to understand there is only one way to get your money straight. Actually, there are two. Either you're going to become a public figure and make a whole lot of money, but just because you make money don't mean you're going to keep it. Because everybody
Hmm.
knows about Andre Walker, the NBA player. I mean, Antoine Walker, the NBA player, and he talks about this openly. But he had a $112 million contract, and he was in the NBA 3 years, and he was bankrupt 2 years after that because he didn't understand the money game. He paid $55 million
Hmm.
in taxes. The president wouldn't have paid $55 million in taxes, not on
Yeah,
110 million.
he had to pay 750. He the goat when it comes to taxes. I have a question.
Exactly.
Somebody said they have a lot of student loan and a lot of debt. Should they file for bankruptcy?
I think that what they should do is go to buildwealthwithremy.com and get a consultation or take the class, How to Bounce Back from Bankruptcy. So here's the deal about bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a tool created by wealthy people to preserve wealth. Wealthy people will say, okay, my cash flow is going to be down to 500,000,000, 500,000, it's going to decrease in the next 6 months. So we're going to file bankruptcy. We're going to reorganize. We're going to start the service in another entity's name. We're going to create a new company. And what they
Hmm.
do is they keep their wealth going. Black people, we have been taught that bankruptcy is embarrassing. Bankruptcy is the worst thing you could do. Bankruptcy, no. So by the time we get to the bankruptcy court, broke was 52 stages ago. We lost everything. So what I say to people is, if you're going to file bankruptcy, make that decision early. One of my very best friends from childhood, our fathers used to run the streets together. We was in kindergarten together. She passed, but she filed bankruptcy in 2008. She called me. She said, Lynn, I cannot pay my bills. Now, her credit scores was almost 800. She said, I can't pay my bills. And I had her call the attorney, looked at everything. She filed bankruptcy, never made a late payment. And her credit scores went up to over 800. Why? Because she no longer had any debt and she never made a late payment. So bankruptcy does not make your credit bad. It's everything that leads to the bankruptcy, the judgments, the foreclosures. And if somebody come and repossess your car, this is what people don't understand. Let's say they repossess your car. They still want the money. And if you don't pay, they're going to get a judgment and then they're going to garnish your check. But you don't have the car. So if you couldn't afford the car when you had it, you definitely can't afford it when they came and got it, and now they still want the money anyway. So to avoid a foreclosure, to avoid a bankruptcy, to avoid a garnishment, to avoid people coming to take your stuff, bankruptcy is an option. And if you file bankruptcy, and let's say you owe $10,000 on your car, but it's only worth $5,000. If you file bankruptcy, you can qualify for a 722 redemption, and they will take your balance down to what the amount is and decrease your payment. So it's all about getting an education. So I say, if you think that you are really in a bad situation, you want to consider bankruptcy, but you cannot discharge your student loans. You can't discharge your student loans, but you can avoid your student loans too, because student loans can be rehabilitated.
I'm shiny, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Let me tell you. Wait a minute. Let me do my stuff too. While you doing good.
So okay, I'm coming right now. So I have a question. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me look at my question. Let me see what questions I have. Hold on. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I can't even say. I'm gonna see. I'm trying to ask a question that somebody had that's like actually good. Why? That's a dumb question. I mean, they say ain't no such thing as a dumb question. But that was just dumb. So somebody said, I would like to know about budgets for startup business, without funding.
Okay, so I tell everybody to live by the 10, 10, 30, 50. Every time you get paid, this is how you should split up your money. The first 10% you tithe. Now, I tithe to my church. You might want to tithe to your a cause. You might want to tithe to the Remy Ma Foundation. I believe that if you give, then you put yourself in position to receive. And when I started tithing, I was broke as all get out. I had a big fat corporate check, but my check stopped up here. My bills kept going all the way down. And I realized I was broke whether I tithed or not. So I started tithing so at least I could have God on my broke side when I prayed. So the first 10% you tithe, the next 10% you save. Not just for a rainy day, you want to save for a come up. When the stock market crashed, that was a great time to buy some good stocks, not any volatile, crazy stocks, and then watch your money grow. The way to make your money grow, the only way to make your money actually grow. Now, you got a couple of ways to make money. You can go keep making money, but then if money start working for itself, then you will have generational wealth, and money will work harder for you than you could ever work for it. So we got a class, how to invest in the stock market. So you can do that at buildwealthremy.com. The next 30% is cash. I tell people carry cash. Because it will stop you from having a spending addiction, which is what you have when you go to the grocery store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need, talking about it was on sale, and it wasn't on sale for you. So the first time,
it's just so hard to walk out of Target with one thing.
Yeah, but see, if you go in Target, if you go in there with $5, leave your other stuff in the car, and don't even get a shopping cart. If all you went in there for was toothpaste, what you get a shopping cart for? You was slammed when you walked in there. Then you start putting stuff in your shopping cart. And you have to have discipline. So this was me. Like literally, I was at the grocery store. I had $100. That's all I could afford. When I got to the cash register, I had like $200 and some dollars worth of stuff. If I had a credit card, debit card, or a check, I would have spent that money. But all I had was $100 cash. So I literally had to. So You have to start
And
training
that's where,
yourself.
and
And then
that's another thing
yeah,
black people are embarrassed about. When you at the register and you gotta put stuff back, you gotta put it back.
that's it.
I've done that before. Like I have a habit. Well, let me rephrase that. I had a habit of
Hmm.
I don't ask how much something costs. I just like I
Hmm.
want that. I want
Yeah.
the pink one. I want the red one. I want the black one, and I want the white one. And then I get to the register, and I'm like, what? Because in my mind, I'm like, it can't cost no more than X, Y, and Z. And then you get
Right.
to the register, and they tell you some crazy number, and you like, in your head, you like, what? But on the outside, I'm Remy Ma, so now I gotta buy all 40s. Now I'm in the car, pissed, pissed. I'm happy because I love it, but I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. There's no reason why a shirt should cost that much money. But now, please let me be. I'll be like, wait, how much is that? Put that back. You can sit there. You
Thank
could go
you.
to. First of all, you're a clerk in the store, so I know you don't got more money than me. I'm. Well, let me say, I'm
Exactly.
assuming you don't. Go
Yeah.
tell your other broke friends how Remy Ma put back 3 shirts that was $7,500 each and only bought
Each.
one. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna bother me no more.
Because here's the deal. Wealthy, look, let me tell you something. Rich people stay rich because they act poor. And poor people stay poor because they act rich. And poor people stay poor acting rich in front of other poor people, which is real crazy. So I'm not
Right.
acting rich in front of poor people, and I'm not trying to act, I ain't trying to do it for nobody. I'm gonna do what is comfortable for me. I'm gonna say no. And what people gotta realize, so I have everything that you're saying. I have been on both sides. I've been broke. I've been keeping up with the Joneses. I was pretending like I had it when I really didn't, or then I could go get it. But then I've been on the other side. Broke people act the same. Wealthy people act the same. And wealthy people are like, nope, I'm not spending money on that. Nope, nope. The richest companies in the world, when they do their budget, they be like, oh no, we're not spending money on no more paper clips,
Mm-hmm.
because paper
Right.
clips is cutting into my bottom line. So what I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody got to do, everybody, and we got a big event tomorrow. It's called Get Your Money Back. It's 4 hours. You can go to buildwealthwithremy.com. You can sign up for it. It's only $20. You get the book. You're going to get a workbook, all this kind of stuff to start helping you. What you got to start doing, I'm looking at my vision board. I'm in my home office, which is a
Mm-hmm.
tax write-off. Almost the whole place is a tax write-off. I'm looking at my vision board. Everything on my vision board is true. The money tree. Acknowledge God in all your ways. He'll direct your path. The overflow. Flow. I see a big auditorium where I'm speaking. TV, this, that, and the other. When you
Right.
start creating a vision for your life, and you
Right.
start saying to your kids, you ask your kids, what do they want? Okay, I want to be financially free. Okay, we want to be able to take a vacation. Okay, we want to be able to do this, that, and the other.
That's
When
what
you
your
start
kids
creating
say.
a vision,
My son be like, I want some Amiris. I want some Balmains. I be like,
but wait a
what?
minute. It wasn't always like that. So when we start getting our money straight, my youngest daughter Kennedy, she remind me of you, girl. You would love Kennedy because she just be talking, doing what she want to do. But she was like
Hold
6,
on, mommy.
and so we started cutting back on stuff. So we was cutting back on stuff. She was like, well, I want to get my hair done. And so my husband was like, well, we got to look at the budget. Girl, she looked at us. She was like, are y'all broke? She was 6. She was 6.
Not are y'all broke.
She she said, are y'all broke? Because she was used to us buying, like my kids, 3 girls. Can you imagine? Christmas, the toys would be from the front of the house to the back of the house. They
Right.
had Barbie cars. They had, I remember they little purple fur coats. They had all of this stuff. So then we went from doing all of that to nothing. They did not like it. I hired her when she was 6. I hired all my kids. She was 6. Her sister was 7. The oldest sister was 11. They got a salary. They had to do work around the house. They had to work for their money. That was a tax write-off to me because the IRS says you can hire your kids. Now the money I paid them, that's what they used. They had checkbooks. They went to school. If they wanted a field trip, if they wanted a video game, they had to write their own
Right.
checks for their own stuff. So it took a long time, and I felt guilty because I made them like that. So when our kids are entitled, it's because we made them that way. So I had to unmake them. And now, like I got these burgundy Timberlands. And I only wore them like one time. But my daughter, my youngest daughter, she wear the same size. Instead of her buying her a pair, and she got thousands of dollars, She want to wear my pair because she don't want to spend no money. So they went from, are y'all broke? They was like, they was mad at us, all that kind of stuff. So it's a process where you kind of
Say,
have to train them. You have to,
all
we
right,
have to
so
train our
I,
kids.
I got I gotta go soon. My little mini
Yes.
Rem, she's over here going crazy. But I want to make sure that we get to the percentages. So 10% is a tithe, 10% is a save, 30% is cash. What's the 50%?
The remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. Now, your 30% is cash for your incidentals. That's groceries, gas, hair, nails, the new iPhone, lipstick, getting your hair done, getting your, if it doesn't fit, get rid of it. That's it. You cannot go spend more money than you make. It's a mathematical failure, and you'll always have anxiety. The remaining 50% is for your light bill, your gas bill, your rent, your whatever, your bills.
Your
If
mortgage,
you
the
do
stuff that
not
don't
have enough
change.
money, if you do not have enough money for your bills, you got to subtract. You might have to
Hmm.
get a different car. You might have to go live somewhere different. You might have to do whatever it takes. My grandmother passed, who raised me, but I told people if I didn't have enough money, I would go get a pallet on her floor, sleep with her, sleep in her one bedroom little senior citizen place for 2 years. I would stack my money and then I would get out. So you have to subtract. We cannot be emotionally attached to the things that we have, because if we don't get the math right, it'll never be right.
It's never gonna
Nobody
be
has a
right.
money problem. Everybody has a math problem, and the math problem is 1 + 1 = 2. If your stuff adds up to 10, it'll never get into 2. So, but then we got to work together. So that's why at buildwealthwithremy.com, they could take classes, 21 days to financial freedom, how to
Yes.
start a budget, just stuff like that.
So
So take it one day at a time.
I'm gonna leave this live up. I'm the queen of a wants to go back and watch it and listen to it, please, guys, make sure y'all go to buildwealthwithremy.com. There's so much information on there. Like I'm talking and I'm telling this to y'all, but I promise you, every time I talk to this lady right here, I learn something else, and it helps me in life. And when you are financially free, you have such a better your life is just better. It's such a weight off your shoulders when you're not worried about paying this person. Where am I get money for that? Where am I? It is you will understand what life really is. Like we're so used to living check to check or check to Monday
Yep,
that we don't really get to really enjoy life. And then when you have financial freedom, it changes everything. So please,
it
guys,
does.
go to buildwealthwithremy.com. Len, you know I love you so, so,
I
so, so,
love
so
you.
much.
Thank
We have to do
you.
this again. We have to do this
Yes,
again when I'm in proper lighting. Like let me say that I got my
this
other
is
phone up here giving
fine.
me light. I'm in proper
Mm,
lighting. I got my notes
this
written
is
down
fine.
and I could take more questions, but I love you so much. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry for everyone whose questions that I didn't get to. We're going to do it again. But in the meantime, go to buildwealthwithremy.com. I see my rich brother in here. Hi. He says, it's Fat Joe. He says,
Hey,
wow, I need financial freedom. If you don't get your
yeah.
rich ass out of here, sitting on an island somewhere that you took on a private jet over there, you have
They can go
financial
get,
freedom. He just has a math problem.
that's all
he does
good.
he
That's all
doesn't do
good.
10, 10, 30, 50. But we good. We good up here. And thank you again. We'll do
Thank
this again
you.
sometime, and
Yep.
mwah, bye.
Mwah. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye bye.
Yes, bye bye.